Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I've got a special guest with me again. Bionic is back in the room. Mr. Free to Play. Bionic, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me, Hell Hades. Glad to be back.
Now look, so my viewers were really interested in your account last time. So for those that haven't seen the video yet, I will link it at the end of this video. But basically, we had a look around Bionic's account. Bionic has been over a year now, completely free to play. I'd managed to get his Arbiter, and I think last time we basically did a bit of an overview of your clan boss team. So how's things progressed since we did that piece of work?
Well, to be honest, the last month has been a little bit slower in terms of progression because I kind of finished the missions, right? I got Arbiter actually a while ago, a couple months ago. I think it was 9 months to be exact before I got her. But now I've been focusing on farming gear. I think at this point, my account needs to have really top-notch endgame gear.
Okay.
So I've been doing the Dragon mostly and a little bit of the Fire Knight. And this was in the hopes of obviously performing better in the clan boss. And that was right before we did the video together where we tried to fine tune my team for Ultra Nightmare. Now, since we've had the fusions, we've had what I think Rotos and now Cillian. I'm not quite sure how to say his name.
Cillian, yeah. Yeah.
It's Cillian. Okay. So I do have the Rotos now, and I just got the Cillian as well.
Brilliant.
And I've been kind of working on finishing these champions. And just today, just this morning, did a little bit of a summons, was hoping for that decrease attack A1 champion, and I still did not get one. But actually, I got a Coffin Smasher. So now the question
he's
Rearguard Sergeant or Coffin Smasher. That's where I'm at. That's the news.
Yeah, well, so I did a guide on Coffin Smasher not that long ago, and it turns out he is brilliant. Like, he is really solid as a rare. So I think some of the guys had recommended him when we did your video last time. Coffin Smasher might be a good person for you. I'd say 100%. If you've not managed to pull one of those kind of epic top tier guys, then Coffin Smasher will absolutely help your team.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So I think, look, for this video though, what I'd really like to do, a lot of the viewers last time said we really would have loved to have seen the teams that you pulled together for your dungeons, and just try to understand how did you get through level 20s, perhaps see some of the dungeon runs in play. So maybe what we do, should we just dive into a couple of the runs and you can talk us through, I guess, almost dungeon by dungeon, how did you beat it while you were on your way to the Arbiter? And then, what's your what's your setup now and how's that kind of running?
Yeah. Sure, man. So let's do it. I think the getting to Arbiter obviously is a lot different than once you have her, right? We know she's a game-changing champion, so I had to work with whatever champions I had lying around. And I had the Crimson Helm very early on. So if you look on my channel, all my previous basically attempts at the dungeons have my Crimson Helm in there. She is a great champion for the dungeons. She has that aura for increased HP. She has a provoke. She has a block damage. She's got a decreased attack. So, I mean, her kit is very well built.
Yeah.
And
just before you carry on, are these teams good to go as we are? Is this your normal run?
You can go. This is my typical teams now for level 20 dungeons. This is what I know works. I try to run like Rotos instead. You could swap out the Gaelic or the Rotos. It's probably going to be better, but I haven't really been farming dungeons and anymore that much because I've been focusing on the fusions recently.
Okay.
But to go back to the progression, obviously you got to work with what you have. And I think I've said this before, but in my dungeons, I've went as low as a 25% success rate just to complete a mission.
Right.
Because again, like you know that once you get Arbiter, and now you'll see that all my builds have Arbiter in there.
Yeah.
2 of them at least use Tormund because he's really good. I was able to fuse him. 2 of them also use the ultimate Gaelic because he was free. So always trying to use whatever is more accessible. I think that's probably what it's always been for me. Now I won't lie, I got some cold hearts early on. Okay, so that really helped.
We saw that. We saw so many. Everyone was like, "How's he got this many cold hearts?" I was like, "I don't know."
But obviously, you sometimes get lucky with certain things, and sometimes you don't. It is the name of the game. RNG is RNG, right? So I've definitely put those cold hearts to good use. and it allowed me to basically complete all of them. My previous build for, like, let's say the spider dungeon was basically 3 cold hearts, 1 royal guard, and I think I was using my ghostborn or the rosin, I forget.
Okay.
And now it's a little bit different. I wanted to hit that 100% success rate. Same thing with the ice golem. I wanted to hit that success rate. My previous attempt at the level 20 was 20 minutes long. I think I
Wow.
had one run 23 minutes long. But again, it was just to get through there. I had to level up a pain keeper. I had to use, obviously, my crimson helm, and then whatever else I had accessible. I tried so many different combinations. But in the end, you just wanted to complete that mission to
Yeah.
get Arbiter and then redesign everything around Arbiter because she's so good.
And it feels like then. So have you played around with Rotus much since you got him?
Not not at all. Well, yes and no, because I knew I wanted to put him in the arena, but we just had an artifact enhancement event, right? And I
Mm.
just got enough of on good rolls on my gear to hit 100% crit rate. And so now
Okay.
he's basically fresh, which is why I made my video for the Platinum Arena, which I hit a couple of times in the last week. So all you see here is
Nice.
is fully updated or just recently updated.
Yeah, yeah. Because actually, I mean, the Rotus is doing work. I don't know if you're seeing this as we're going through, but he is
Yeah,
absolutely crushing people. Which I mean, he's
yeah,
just a great champion.
he
Um,
is. The
yeah,
reason though why I still had the Occult Brawler, or why like I didn't even try with Rotos yet, is Occult Brawler also got his block revive skill fixed,
yeah,
which means we can still get that to work. And what I like about what I like about the Occult Brawler is that he'll load up poisons on the boss a lot faster.
yeah,
And that means you can skip those ticks, those dangerous ticks where you get the frigid vengeance, and then the boss gets a turn right after as well. So that's what we're scared of in the ice golem.
yeah,
And I'm also using my ultimate Gaelic in a toxic set because he's basically set up as a debuffer. So I didn't see any reason to try and pump up his offensive stats. I'm just using him really for that HP burn as well as some little bit of poison. So
Oh,
I
nice.
like to think it helps a little bit.
Yeah. And do you find then because you've got limited resource, are you pretty much using the same champions in all of these dungeons? Are we going to see the same teams rifling through most of this stuff?
Basically, Arbiter is in all of them, Torment in 2 of them, Ultimate Gallic in 2 of them. We've got Apothecary in 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, all you're missing here is the Rosin, which will come in for the Fire Knight and the Spider, and
Yeah,
then 1 Cold Heart. And then that's
yeah, sure.
basically it, right? So you cannot assume that you're going to have the perfect setup for all your dungeons. Like, I do have an allure. I could, get a lure up and going. I do have I have a Royal Guard. Sorry, Royal Guard is in the Dragon Dungeon as well. But I can't afford to do all these champions specifically for one dungeon when the priority always remains the clan boss and the arena, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. And do you find then that you're building things not necessarily for speed, but you're trying to just make sure that you get 100% completion rate?
Exactly. That was the push right after getting Arbiter. I literally took everything down. I removed the gear on my old champions and I started building things that I knew were going to be steady or that would work with a 100% success rate. So I've had a lot of times to test it. It does look sometimes like I'm going to die. It does really come close sometimes, but so
Yeah,
far everything has been working out perfectly. So you can almost look at this as kind of like the bare minimum that you would need. And you got a best time there. Awesome. So
yeah, nice.
Rotos is better than my Occult Brawler, or perhaps put in the Occult Brawler instead of the Ultimate Gaelic. That would maybe be even faster.
Yeah, that could be even better.
Yeah.
Um, what are you
So
running here?
yeah, I mean that's really been it. Like you said, hitting that 100% success rate once you get Arbiter, that was my main goal.
Yeah, definitely. And what I would say, just for your Rotus build, you potentially might even want to switch this into Helm Smasher to do even more crazy numbers. But that was a good run. That was a good run.
Yeah. I think though for Rotos, what I would like, because I use him as a nuker and I really don't have a relentless set, right? You do not have that ability as a free-to-play player to win a ton of this is good to go as well, to win a ton of tournaments. So you can't count on having a reliable relentless set. Instead, my go-to would probably be a solid Savage set.
Yeah.
And then you would not need the Helm Smasher. And again, I don't really spend to try out a bunch of different masteries. So I always kind of assume what am I going to try and use in terms of masteries for the longest time, and then I keep that free reset just as an in case, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Rotos, I think I would aim for that Savage set for me for right now. I think that would be probably a little bit more doable. But I have started winning, maybe placing second or third in a couple of tournaments, so I'm starting to get some relentless pieces.
Yeah, it's interesting as a free to play player. Obviously, all you're lacking is time. Or all you're having to invest is time, isn't it? Because you're
Yeah.
actually now at this stage, you're not far behind me, really, in terms of most of your runs have got a good few legendaries in them. You've got a good sort of sprinkling of champions that can do the right jobs. You're fighting, on the edge of Platinum Arena. So, that I guess that's something to put out there as a message is yeah, it's easier to come in and spend money because you get places faster. But ultimately, we're talking about the same sort of gear sets. We're talking about trying to do the same sort of thing in dungeons, and we're probably running similar teams now. Um, I've just got there quicker because I spent a load of money up front, basically.
And that's really it. I think when you spend on this game, you are buying convenience. You're buying time. You will go faster. You will get to the end game faster, which is all right. We can all spend our entertainment dollars however we want. I've spent a countless amount of money on other games, but what I'm usually not a fan of is the RNG. Like I'm not a gambler by nature. So
Right.
instead, I wanted to see if in this game, if I just go steady and play for the long term, can I actually reach the end game? And now the ultra end game, we could say in a sense, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's really what it's been for me. It's been kind of like this journey to try and get there. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it as much as if I would be perhaps spending money, if not maybe a little bit more, because hey, I don't get champions. I don't care. I didn't spend. You know what I mean? Like everything is a bonus for me.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you feel then when you got something going on like right now, where this extra summon chance on something like a Valkyrie? Are you at all tempted by that?
I am. So, this morning I thought I'm going to do 30 ancient shards, and I explained it in my video, my giveaway video, which I
Okay.
just posted as well. But I'm basically looking at it this way, right? I could go and blow out all my summon, my shards during this event for this 10-time event to get this OP champion. Chances are I won't get them though, right? So I
Yeah.
look at my total shards, total amount of points that it's worth, and then I considered the upcoming summon rushes, the upcoming fusion, the next one, and I try to keep enough resources for that one, and then I spend whatever I have extra. So this morning it was 30 ancient shards. That's all I had to use towards this 10 chance event, and conveniently it was during a summon rush as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am getting some resources out of it, and I am getting a small chance at getting a Valkyrie. Did not get her, but you know what? Whatever.
And
It is the name of the
what
game.
would your advice be then for maybe someone that's been playing for maybe 6 months as a free to play player, like you would have been doing? Would you at that stage have gone for this or not? Do you think?
So that's such a hard question. A lot of my viewers have been not challenging me on this, but have been given their opinion. Right?
Mm,
If you are a new player in a young account, then most likely that using your shards early on will net you a higher chance at getting game changing champions. If you can hit those 2 times events, regardless if they are during a summon rush or a fusion event or or 10 times event, right? They're never at the
yeah.
same time. But personally, having an account this old, what I try to aim for is basically guaranteed resources and the next fusion. Just look at the latest fusions: Harvest Jack, Torment, and Rotos. I did them all, and they're allowing me to be in Platinum Edition, Platinum Arena,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
Yeah, all great champions.
focusing on fusions is a guaranteed way to get some pretty strong champions. You can gamble all you want on these 10 times chances, but for me, having limited resources, I would say you need to decide whether your account would benefit more from taking those chances now or accumulating your resources and using them at the right time to guarantee that you get a good champion. Know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. I was just thinking here, this apothecary doesn't have a
Oh,
chest
he
on.
doesn't have a chest.
He's doing all this work. He doesn't have a.
Yeah, I think I swapped it on the Harvest Jack. I was playing around. I must have something. I probably have one shitty flat stats. Not in the bin yet. Remember, we got
Yeah,
to
what's
level
going
them up
on?
to 8 first.
Do you want me to just throw that on so he gets a shield?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Go
yeah,
ahead.
okay. I feel bad putting on a flat stat though, Bionic.
No,
But
that's all
no,
right.
that's fine. That's fine. Uh, Okay, cool. Yeah, and I was just actually just having a look at your stats and your mastery. So it feels like everyone that you've got here that's running in any sort of dungeon team now, they're full masteries. They're kind of literally they're end game to a certain extent. You know, you can probably tweak gear, but ultimately they're end game. And
Definitely.
yeah, fast as well, fast runs here, which is decent.
Yeah, they're getting pretty decent for sure. And again, I'm trying to use sort of whatever is more accessible, like the Arbiter, the Rosin, as much as possible, the Apothecary, which is rare. One cold heart. A lot of people challenged me on that before, where I was basically using 3 cold hearts against the spider. People are like, I'm never gonna get that. I'm like, okay, I realize, but still, like I do have it on my account, so I've tried
Yeah.
to scale down to something that is perhaps more achievable for free to play players.
Yeah.
But
What
what you'll
just
notice
on
is,
that point, just quickly on that point, what's interesting for me, so a lot of my viewers say to me, don't show us your legendary, show us more accessible compositions because we're a lot of them
Mhm.
are free to play. So I try and tone down a lot of my content and I'm trying
Yeah.
to get rares built. I'm trying to show new rares that are coming into the game or perhaps only have one epic in the mix, something like that. Um, and you are a genuine free to play player, but yet your audience are asking you the same thing that they would ask me, which is
Yeah,
quite funny. It's
it
quite a
is.
funny sort of paradox, really, in that
It is.
actually you are absolutely what they will be, but they still want to see you using champions that they haven't got yet. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry, do you know what I mean? Champions that they can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's quite
And
interesting.
it's it is what it is, right? Nobody's going to get all the champions, and it is a game that has what, over 330 champions now. So
Hmm.
there's so many different combinations possible, and I think that people want to see the easiest ones, the ones that use the champions that everybody can get, right? But I think people also perhaps confuse, like, when I say I'm free to play, with perhaps free to play champion or
Yeah,
accessible champions, campaign farmable champions, the free champions that you get from the login rewards, whatever. So again, like, my approach is just, I'm going to use whatever the game throws at me, but I am still 100% free to play.
yeah, no, definitely. No, it's interesting. Yeah,
And another note on the masteries, like, you went through them real quick, and you'll see that some of my masteries were originally built, like the Arbiter and the Apothecary, for the clan boss, because I
yeah,
was using them there for a while. But since now I am not, they're in the dungeons, but I still haven't redone the masteries because it's working. So why would I waste, sorry, my free reset on something that will not necessarily net me any benefit? Right, I'm going to
yeah,
save
yeah.
it for if ever something else happens where we need to redo the masteries for whatever reason, and then it'll be ready to go. So we didn't get lucky there with that cold heart, and you'll see sometimes this the Fire Knight is the worst run, where things don't line up, it sometimes just does not work. Like, I'm going to keep dying, and then we're going to keep betting that the Arbiter is going to get them back up. We need to land just one turn meter decrease, either from the Rosin or the Cold Heart, for this to work.
Yeah.
It usually works out. There we go. We got one from the Rosin, so I think we'll be good now.
So does this run potentially fail for you?
It Since I've made it, I the first time I made my video, I think I did about 20 runs. They all succeeded. I did not watch them all, obviously. And since then, I've seen 2 of them fail.
Yeah.
So now I guess I could say it's like a 99%, because I've done a lot of the Fire Knights so far. But what I've noticed, and I tweaked the gear since, is that the turn meter decrease was not landing. Like, it was happening at the right time, but the bar wasn't going down. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm too low on accuracy. So I tried to push it up a little bit.
Hmm.
Since I have not seen a failure, but still, I think the risk is always there. Is it really ever a 100% success chance to land a debuff? Would you
So
would you say that's the case?
I know for 100% chance. I know for 100% that the clan boss, there's a 5% chance you cannot land a debuff, no matter what your
Okay.
accuracy is. I
Yeah.
don't know actually if that's the same with these bosses. I think once you hit a certain accuracy with these bosses, it definitely lands.
Okay.
But I don't know exactly what that cap is. But I did notice
Okay.
there that your Cold Heart as well didn't hit some of her A1s, as in the heal reduction. So I
Exactly.
figure her accuracy probably just needs a
Is
bit of a
probably
tweak.
still low. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to see
So
this one.
It's this one here. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so I need to push that up a little bit more. And you'll see that their gear is not that great. Like I consider my cold hearts to be kind of like my B tier champions, because I save my best gear for my champions that are used daily. So clan boss and arena, number one. So the rest of the gear is going to be then used to gear my champions for the dungeons, right? Like my Harvest Jack has a better shield set than my Apothecary. My Sargala, who's rarely used in the arena, has somewhat of my good offensive stats, but still overall,
Yeah.
it could use some improvement. You know.
Okay, so who have you started to use in your arena team? Talk us through
So
your arena.
now, the video that I just posted, I show we're using Torment, Arbiter, Rotoast, and Harvest Jack.
We've got our 4 here. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So you've gone for quite a defensive
CC, very hard on the CC, so that I can give my Rotos a chance to go first because he has low speed, but he has decent stats. The Rotos still could use a lot more crit damage, and I could use a lot more accuracy on my Harvest Jack and my Torment. But it's a work in progress, and it's, like I said, it's so hard to balance the gear on your entire account when you're trying to do all the content of the game. I think that's probably one of the key messages here, is that before completing the missions for Arbiter, I never had a team set up for the dungeon, the Fire Knight, the Spider, and the Ice Golem at the same time. Never. It was
so you
always
could only
about
farm one area.
Exactly. I was always trying to come up with the next best team to complete that mission, that dungeon, then take it apart, make a new one, and then move on. Now it's different though. I have a team for everything. Everything is good to go. Tournament comes up, I'm good to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's been the biggest change for me. So now I can focus a lot more on tweaking my teams and doing the fusions and farming tournaments outside of fusion events.
And how do you find now? So now that the challenge of getting the Arbiter is gone, are you still as kind of pumped to get further in this game?
Yeah, I guess at this point, like recently, it's been the attempt at Ultra Nightmare and then the attempt at the Platinum Arena. I think that's probably what's left in terms of endgame, or I guess what we could call Ultra Endgame.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the mammoth of the faction wars. Who knows if I'd ever attempt that in the long run. I mean, I've built some teams. I think I've gotten as far as I can with what I had, but since I've taken down everything, you know what I mean? Like I have a couple champions geared here and there, and then I just farm it whatever I have. But like I'm not going to be able to farm level 15 of the High Elf Crypt every time it comes up because I don't have all those champions geared at any given time, right? So I don't know if I'm going to attempt this, to be 100% honest. I'd have to reconsider my real life goals. So we'll see, man. It's I think it'd be a huge undertaking to try and complete this as 100% free to play.
Yeah, even even my account. So I have got a number which I've completed, I think 4 now, but it is challenging. I've got some good teams, and it is challenging to get to those last couple of levels. So this would be an absolute mammoth task, I'm sure. But no, that's really cool, man. Look, I think it's been really interesting for me to see your dungeon runs. I think you've got pretty quick teams now, and it's just so interesting to see, the perspective of a properly free-to-play player who's put the time in and the work in, and just how well you've evolved this account. It's been really good to see.
Yeah.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I was glad to show it. I think, maybe sometimes people don't realize how we strategize to try and do certain things. And I keep saying it, but it's always about trying to use whatever the game throws at you. And I think it's also having a good understanding of what the end game is, which buffs and debuffs you need, and what will work well, which is why that tier list we talked about a little bit before, I'm hoping that it will help players do that. So I'm looking forward to do that with you as well. And any more content you guys or your viewers want to see basically from my channel or my account, I'm glad to provide that.
Yeah, so I guess, guys, look, Bionic and I are going to be working on a really well-informed tier list to help free-to-play players, mainly. So that's going to be in a video coming soon. But do comment below. So if there's anything else you want to see from this account, do you want us to do some arena work? If there's anything at all, comment below. Also, go and check out his channel because he's got a number of videos already out there, which are actually just fascinating to see. So, Bionic, anything you want to say before we close this off?
Yeah, real quick, thank you again so much for having me, Hell Hades. I really enjoy these collaborations. And also on my channel going on right now, it kind of timed perfectly, but it's my monthly giveaway. I do all of my giveaways into a monthly version now, and it's 4,500 gems, which are being given away for the next 48 to 72 hours. So feel free to go check the channel, comment on that video to get your chance at winning 900 gems. So I'm going to do 5 lucky winners. We're each going to get 900 gems.
Brilliant. Guys, get involved. Bionic, thanks again. Catch you soon, man.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Catch you later, buddy. Bye.